to order. We want to welcome our guests, Ms. Laura Cobb.
Here.
Emmett Owens.
Here.
Terry Hendricks.
Here.
Roger Hill.
Here.
We do have a quorum. This time we will pledge allegiance. And Ms. Cobb, I think it's your turn. If you don't mind blessing us. Salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father, thank you for having us here tonight. Father, I pray that you'll just be with us, that we'll make godly decisions. You'll just be with us as we go through the week, Father, that we all remember what this week is, that we always put you first, Father. Father, just lead and guide us and direct us in the right way. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. Consent agenda's all the way through?
Yes.
Okay. Is everything initial? Consent agenda? Okay. We have Mr. Fred Couch here, and he wants to come speak to us concerning the Trinity Camp area of the County Road 18 Bridge. Mr. Couch?
Thank you. Appreciate that. I guess you looked at that brochure I handed you. The first thing on that is we invite people to come from all over. The river trail thing that I started has been exceptionally well received, and I can't say anything other than we've been blessed. Started with nothing. I gave me $500. My Rotary Club gave me $2,000, and a few other people gave me some money. And now we have 4 full-time employees and 3 part-time, and 389 campsites around the state. But most of the campsites are concentrated on Tennessee River, and Coosa River, Alabama River, and some on Lower Tallahatchie. And I try to get them spaced about every 8 to 10 miles apart. Lex Brown has 2 places over here that we get campsites on Tallahatchie. And there was one other below him, but the judge referred me to an individual last time I was here. And the gentleman had leased it out for somebody from Cal, so they didn't do it. So Lex suggested that I approach you about County Road 18 Bridge. And I want the campsite, but I don't want the campsite, and I want to explain that. We put this sign up with permission of whoever allows us to put one up there in nearly every place. But there's some that say, don't put a sign up, we don't want recognition. So the only way someone can find out about it is go to our website. And right now, the website, you go to Word Resources, scroll down, see campsite, then you go scroll down and see whatever river it is, and you can see campsites and how far apart they are. The waypoints are given on each one, as well as distance when I can figure it out. And of course, electronics being what it is, I can do it, but it's tedious. The reason I said I may not want it is because I used to have an entity business on Choctaw Creek. And in one of the places that we leased the land next to a bridge to get out, the Talladega engineer down there said he had trouble with people who were, he was glad we leased that and put a gate on it so nobody could get in there. But he had trouble with people going down there and making fires and making meth. And so that stopped that. But he told me something that bothered me, and that's why I say I may or may not wear the oversight. He said that people build fires against that concrete and weakens the structure. So, that being the case, I would like to have a campsite at that bridge. On the far end, there's a place somebody can drive on land and get down to the water. But on this end, you can't. trail. So I would like to have a campsite there. It's a really nice level place. We only ask for big enough for 2 tents. I dare say you'll ever see too many people there. But if you would give me permission to have one, I can put it on the website and never put a sign. So that anybody who does stop there to camp knows they're not trespassing, and that's what we try to do. We try to have places people can sleep. They got their kids with them. They won't pull over, it's late in the afternoon, you know, a nice flat place that can set up a tent and not be shy. Last summer, I believe it was July, I may have told you about this, maybe summer before, but we had a man that did the trail, our original trail, 650 miles, and he got to a spot where there was no campsite. And he saw some people over there on the lake. So he started paddling over there. He's thinking, I'm going to go over and ask them if I can. Well, they started shooting him. I'm glad they didn't hit him. That would have done more damage than what I've been promoting for 15 years than anything. He told me, he said, Fred, I spent the night in the ditch. I was afraid to turn on my flashlight. It was raining. I was wet all night. Sleeping bag got wet. I couldn't put up a tent. If I had to run, I had to run. And that's what I'm trying to do for people, to have a place that can stop. So if you would like to give us permission to have a campsite under that bridge, it's a spot and not put a sign, I'd be delighted. But I want to give you a sign that you can use for whatever you want, wherever you want, that ADM gave us 50 of last week. So there you go.
All right, thank you.
And I brought a memorandum of understanding with me, a couple of them, so that you can, which is exactly.
I got a question for you. Are you saying that under this bridge, the only way that they would get under the bridge is from the water?
Yes, sir. It's already,
Okay,
that bridge, there's some farmland on the other side, and somebody makes roads put down the waterway, which is, it's really easy to do. On this end, there's a lot of riprap, and it'd be tough for anybody to, get down there.
On the Heflin side of the 18
On the
bridge,
Heflin side, yeah.
we rip-wrapped it right away to right away. So you got rip-wrap and you got fence lines, wood lines. I mean, you've got to crawl over the rock to get down to where he's talking about.
Well, what I'm saying is, like, if you're coming down the river, the only way that they're gonna be allowed to get in there is from the water. So
Yes, and that's what we prefer. All the campsites, nearly all the campsites that I have recruited around the state, the only way you can get there is by water. And that's what we prefer. We did one in Jackson at one time, and it was just a 759 bridge right beside the ramp there, and the locals who sort of trash out and drink and stuff were coming over into our campsite area. He just asked me to pull the sign up. He said, it's not your fault. It wasn't ours. He said, your fault. I said, great. But the locals are drinking. So we took a sign. That's the only one I've ever pulled up.
yeah, if you got somebody floating down the river where they want to get out, like you said, take a break, or, I just don't want to see it where people's coming off the main highway and.
I agree. I don't either.
Okay.
I prefer one that only way to get to it by water.
Right. So on the other side, not the Heflin side, you said on the Heflin side, it's riprap all the way down to the water. On the other side, can you get in now you probably just tie off? Is there a trail or something that you can get up?
On the other side, there's plenty of room. There's actually, when we purchased right away to build that bridge, we purchased 200 foot by 1,000 foot there.
Yeah.
So there's ample room on the other side. And even once you get down underneath the bridge, there's probably 100 foot, 125 foot between the abutment and the actual bridge.
Let me ask you this.
The Nortons are moving cows back and forth across it right now, so they've got some fences up underneath it, just where they're pushing cows from one side to the other.
That's where I'm going with this. If you say we got 1,000 foot, so if we back up 200 feet back that way, and fence it where even if the people that gets out of the water and want to use it to have a place to go and set up and do whatever, that basically the landowners will still have theirs, and it will confine them to the water only up so far under that bridge.
The side he's talking about, you wouldn't have to do anything to.
Okay. But, so how much, so they could just walk all the way up and go up on the road?
No, on the Heflin side, you'd have, well, I mean, they could, you'd have to crawl over.
It'd be tough.
You'd have to crawl over.
I'm just trying, what I'm trying to do is if somebody gets out, they can't, maybe some people can't be coming this way and they can't be going that way.
The side he's talking about.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. We're on the same page.
I would like to offer also to put on our website, if you agree to have a campsite there. We do this with Alpine Power, and we have probably 30 places with them, and we have a label, but I can also write it on the website that says no ground fires, small backpack type stove for cooking, okay.
Okay.
And, so, but again, I don't want to do anything that would create a problem. Now, I don't, probably won't see 5 people in 5 years, but because it's there and keep things trespassing,
That little spot,
somebody else's land, that's why.
that would be nice.
You have a question? Mr. Hendricks?
What about liability?
It's my concern.
We don't insure everybody, no.
But if somebody gets hurt, do they fall
They
back?
can sue us as the landowner, yes.
Being a government, yes, they can sue you, but if you allow free use, they can't win, is that correct?
It depends on what a jury or a judge says.
Yeah, well, I didn't bring it up, but there are 6 laws by the state of Alabama that we give every landowner that we approach, and it basically says that if you allow free use of your property, someone can sue you, that these laws will protect you so much they can't win. And I always have to end that with saying, I'm no attorney, check with your own, because I'm not.
I would be happy to review that if you want to send it to me.
I'll send it to you, but I've had over 200 lawyers so far.
How many have we got now? We've got, what, 3 or 4 of those things where we put in there?
Towards the north end, you do up at Morgan Springs, you have one that puts in at Tappan Creek there, on 73, the bridge that's out. You got one that they go in there.
And then on 84, I think there's also a place to put
We've
it.
had several.
So we've got several of them now. And I've never known anybody. The good thing, I think, I like to say is the ones that we're talking about, the problem we have is with the locals going down and throwing beer balls and stuff all around and the landowners. And right now, we don't have, we don't have the people go around and clean these places up.
Well, I understand that, and that's why I say what I said. And Jason has represented me before, so I've got his email address somewhere.
Okay.
And I can send him the stuff. But, again, anything you feel you'd like to do on this, I would appreciate it. If you know of any other places or individuals who would allow such, I would appreciate it. But the whole thing is, when I started this, there were like 8 places in the state where canoes and kayaks. And it's been so successful. I've talked 54 more places in the open businesses, over 300 employees. Most of them during summer, warm periods, but that means it shows you because of that interest, plus the pandemic, people will want to get outside, and there's more and more people going there. So I'm trying to do this to make sure we don't have problems.
Well, send him that paperwork and bring it back to us and we'll just look at it.
I'll be happy to.
We thank you for the sign, great for that.
Thank you.
So, Commission, you want to put this on the next, maybe the next agenda?
Right.
Next, what? Okay.
Let's wait.
I do.
Let's wait for Jason to give us his opinion on it.
I have it for you before the work session. We'll
Okay.
go and discuss it.
All right.
We
We'll
talked
bring it
about
back to the work session, that good? Okay. And I'll keep you in touch, and you're welcome to come back.
Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
For full disclosure, I helped Fred set up one of his LLCs that doing, was it Floating Fund LLC?
Yes, sir.
So.
Yeah.
number of
I
years.
sold out to the other guy.
Okay.
Good riddance.
Good to have you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sir.
Appreciate y'all's time tonight.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, we have no bid openings, no awards or presentations, scheduled public hearing, consent agenda. I think we had 2 issues, well, 4, the minutes and DHR board vacancies. Right? So all
Who's the HR board member is that?
It's not mine, so I was on the bus.
I just seen it too, but I didn't know if it was mine or not.
I think there's 2 openings, I think that's what, but
So,
It's too late.
okay, but who's on it?
I'm not sure, ask her where she keeps up all of
But one was, well, it don't really matter on how it is, does it? Because a lot of times it's hard to get people outside the city of Heflin to do it because of
the distance.
the distance.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can find somebody. I had one person talking
Call
about it.
someone the one I had couldn't do it.
I didn't get the contract, so.
Yeah. So I'll have to.
I've been searching, found volunteer. I found one, but she was disqualified
Really?
because she was on a different committee.
Yeah, they do have a few.
So you know what, how many times they meet? One time we put together all those packages of when they meet and all that.
Yeah, we've got a book that they gave us, a pamphlet that shows.
I think they meet quarterly.
Okay.
I put together a chart for y'all on those boards.
Yeah, I think I got it.
I saw it across it yesterday, my desk. No, I didn't.
Well, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the.
Ms. Cobb makes a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll say
Mr. Henderson makes a second. Any discussion? All in favor saying aye. Motion carries. New business. I would like to introduce to you Dr. Kathy Murphy with Gadsden State Community College. Ms. Murphy. We have a resolution that is on our new business, and I'll read to you. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ms. Murphy.
Well, thank you so much. I had the opportunity to come last year and was quite lost, but found you nevertheless. So this year it was a little bit easier. What a lovely facility. This is just an awesome location. And so thank you. It's always my privilege to come to this neck of the woods. And so thank you for that. I do represent Gadsden State, President, and I have a couple of folks with me that I wanted to introduce you to. Our Vice President, Dr. Tara Simmons, is joining me this evening. And we have our academic dean, Dr. Farrah Hayes, who's also with us. And so we're just honored that you would celebrate with us the fact that this is Community College Month. We believe that community colleges are important, and we're here to serve students in Cleburne County. Dr. Hayes was sharing with me, oops, lost my earring right in the middle. Dr. Simmons was sharing with me as we came in that we have a number of students in the community who join us through dual enrollment. So for all the students who are joining us, we're delighted with that, for the support that you give to us, and certainly honoring us with a proclamation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any questions for Dr. Murphy in Gadsden State? I think you said you attended, you had social
degrees from Gadsden State.
I did forget one thing to say to you, and that is that we have a very important announcement we'll be making on next Monday evening at 5:30 at Beck Gymnasium. And it's a secret, so I can't really divulge, but we're really excited about some opportunities that we have. And so if you can come join us, great, but otherwise, hopefully there'll be some good news, an announcement that'll be made Monday night in Gadsden. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Maybe I'll read this and we'll vote, and maybe we can get a photo together.
Thank you.
This This is new business item A. Whereas Alabama Public Community College System is the state's largest system of higher education and is Alabama's most affordable and accessible system of higher education. And whereas the three foundational pillars of the Alabama Community College System, academic transfer, workforce development, and adult education, enable ACCS to make a positive impact on people served annually and the great people of the state of Alabama. And whereas a unified network of 24 community and technical colleges and more than 130 locations, ACCS is firmly planted within easy reach of every community in the state. And whereas in 2021, the Alabama Community College System offered 303 degrees and certificate programs, served more than 140,000 people, 95% of them being from Alabama, and awarded 34,480 credentials. And whereas Gadsden State Community College is part of ACCS, serving over 4,000 students in Calhoun, Cleburne, Cherokee, Etowah, and St. Clair counties, and offering 70+ programs that require 2 years or less to complete, and prepares graduates for direct entry into the workforce. Whereas Gadsden State Community College offers dual enrollment opportunities through the ACE Institute, which provides higher achieving students with rigorous courses beyond those offered at the secondary level, increasing college access to those who would not otherwise be college bound and preparing them for high wage, high demand occupation. And whereas Gadsden State Community College and ACCS utilize a statewide articulation and transfer reporting system to assure the transfer of academic work toward a bachelor's degree at a 4-year institution since the articulation agreement inception in 1998. And whereas Gadsden State Community College offers adult education programs, skills training, and continuing education to working age adults to enhance their skills and earn gainful employment. And whereas Gadsden State Community College remains committed to its mission and preparing students for all backgrounds for success through quality education, innovative workforce development, and inclusive community and global engagement. And whereas April is recognized nationally as Community College Month, and whereas ACCS and Chancellor Jimmy Baker and the GSCC President Dr. Kathy Murphy recommend this action, now therefore be resolved that the Cleburne County Commission hereby recognizes the accomplishments of Alabama Public Community College System, including Gadsden State, as it continues to fulfill its unique and distinctive mission of providing a unified system of institutions delivering accessible and affordable and superior education opportunities and workforce training and services to all Alabama, yielding a well-educated, productive citizenry and better prepared workforce. And be it further resolved that the Cleburne County Commission hereby proclaims April as a National Community College Month in Alabama and urges all Alabamians and business industry leaders who are committed to developing Alabama's academic transfer and workforce for the 21st century to use and support local community colleges. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Who wants to speak first?
I'll be second.
All right, Ms. Cobb, you do first. He seconds it. Any discussion? All in favor saying aye. Motion carries. Let's take a little pause and get a photo with these ladies, please. New business, item B, whereas the Cleburne County Commission recognizes the increase in fuel costs due to inflation, whereas fuel can be purchased at a lower price if purchased in large quantities, whereas having a fuel tank owned by the county could possibly save the county money. Therefore, the Cleburne County Commission hereby asks the county engineer, the SDs, to research fuel tank design options and the cost involved. I'm sorry, I didn't even realize what we're doing item B.
You don't have to write contact in, no. It's fine.
I just didn't, I wasn't paying attention.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second? This is new business item B about the, asking Lee to do research on the fuel tank design options and the cost involved. We're not purchasing anything, we're just doing research. Yes, sir.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
we'll wait for discussion right now.
Yes, we are.
I just want to make sure that if we do this, that it's our benefit. I'd like to make sure it's got some type of cover. So whoever pulls up in their fueling vehicles, that I think we need to at least get the price on it, but I really think that needs to be considered. If it's pouring down rain and people trying to get up there at 9 or whatever, it needs to be in the cover. I really like to see that.
Covered and welded.
Covered or welded, those two things.
Terry, you made the motion, huh?
Yeah.
Who seconded? You seconded it?
Right now, you're just giving the cost
Yeah.
and everything, because, you still, as far as the liability, can you, you get all of that together as far as, what all reports that you're gonna have to report?
We discussed that a bit before the meeting.
I've already dug off into it some and talked with Matt, either with the PPM bunch, there's nothing that says we can't put it back down there. Looked at the permits, looked at the tank fees, talked to some of the tank manufacturers. There's nothing, other than just cost, there's nothing that says we can't put a facility back up down there that's functional. So,
But I'm talking about as far as your reporting to the
Yes.
state, your reports that you'll have to get in.
That's
So
what
we
I-
don't get in a situation that we have in the past,
that's right. I've been
and
looking
that
around.
liability back on the county again. But and another thing is that it will be controlled as far as not just anyone can come up and get fuel
There's,
without
what I
being
was-
documented,
what I was looking at,
mileage.
what I was looking at, there is a fuel management system, it's basically like a set of keys. So the road department would have a red set, the sheriff would have a blue set, and each key's programmed differently. And so when you pull up to the box and plug your key in, so it automatically stores you under the road departments and says when you got it, how much you got it, and documents all that with a report that you can access anytime that you need to. So I was looking at that as part of it.
We have some control over it.
That's right.
Ready to vote? You have a question, Terry? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Motion carries. New business, item C, whereas the Cleburne County Commission recognizes that there is a serious problem with litter piling up on some county roads. Whereas the county engineer was asked to prepare specifications and obtain proposals for bids concerning litter pickup. Whereas the county engineer previously stated that he'd gotten a quote of $40,000 for 160 miles picked up 2 times, or $60,000 for 175 miles, all roads picked up at once. Therefore, the Cleburne County Commission resolves to have litter picked up along all county roads one time at a cost of $60,000. May I have a motion? Mr. Owens makes a second.
I think there's a couple of changes we need to make. It says all county roads, I'm going to all county roads.
Okay. What do you want to say? All.
Whatever you say.
So it says, here, it says therefore, talking about doing it once a year. So I think it needs to read, instead of saying $60,000, it needs to read $180 per mile, which is what we were quoted. And if you want to put and instead of saying all county roads, what we were looking at was paved roads, which is 362 miles worth of road.
Say, all right, I mean, all paved roads, and it's how many roads?
362 miles.
How much again? 362,
362.
and that's just paved roads.
It's paved roads.
My question is it $60,000?
It's 65 and 160.
65,000.
65,160, that's what that is.
All paved roads. You know, initially we talked about just doing a major road.
The major collectors was 160 miles worth of road. But that was basically 50, 50, 50, and 10.
But we still have that option, you know.
But the price price is, that unit price is good for, that's for 100 miles. So as long as he's got 100 miles worth of road, that price is good for that pickup.
So we're doing 362 miles.
That's what I got a price for,
Right, all the day
all
roads.
paved road at one time.
Which is $65,160.
Right.
So the amended, you made a motion, your amendment should say what?
If I could read, I've been taking some notes. The third whereas would become, whereas the county engineer previously stated that he had gotten a quote of $40,000 for 160 miles, picked up 2 times, or $65,160 for all paved roads, parentheses, 362 miles of road, close parentheses, picked up once. Therefore, the Cleburne County Commission resolves to have litter picked up along all paved county roads one time at a cost of $65,160.
Okay,
You happy with that amendment?
yeah,
Okay, Are you good with that amendment?
Yeah.
Okay.
money, where's money?
So there's always, it's always been a general fund item, because Benfield's been the one that's picked it up, and that's where it's come from previously. I don't have access to any of the general fund stuff, so I don't know where.
I mean, I think we're getting told our budget now, as far as money. So then we've got to come up with 65,000 more.
That's my question.
Well, I think it has a direct, response to, we can't get inmates because of what we're dealing with. I think we need to take our federal money and see if, we do you almost have to do it like a grant, no different than I guess anybody else, where we, like the water authority, we will.
We talked to ARPA.
Yeah.
And you could always reduce your mileage. If you wanted to go back to the major collector, basically 160 miles worth of road, that's 28,800.
Well, how much money have we used towards Mr. Benfield? We take that money? How much, do you have any idea what we got left in money? Because the commission is paying that, right?
Right.
Do we know if he's used any of it?
Yeah, we do some, but I think I don't know, I don't have the number.
I don't know what that even
I think what we have set it up is, you can figure it out, I think his salary is, for his pay scale was 17 something, and we applied 29 hours times 52. I think it's 29 hours, how many hours a week? That would have been the max for work.
We use that up and we get inmates, then we don't have money there to pay in.
We have to do it here. We're in the 7th month.
You're not gonna have 65,000
We
dollars.
can get 65,000 out of that.
I think before I vote, that's my question. Where's the money?
I've got updates on budgets, if that helps you at all.
Well, let me ask you this, can we use the ARPA money on it?
That would be my question.
I will be in practice tomorrow, that might be the best opportunity to talk to someone at IAC and kind of talk to more about it, see.
Let's table this, I have a little bit more information. And we should find out if we can use our money on this.
It sounds like that also we use it about for anything we want to.
If it's considered a kind of a normal government service, that's kind of
And
the.
this here is really a direct situation, if anything, of any of the other stuff that we're using.
Can we try to bring it back
I
to
think-
next month meeting?
Got a motion to table, do we have a second?
So,
Any discussion on table this to the next meeting? Is that what it is?
Well, it's just gonna keep piling up. Litter.
That get more value for your
We
money.
gotta find out where the money is.
Can you speak it up? At least about money.
We don't know where the money is.
Cheaper for piece of trash.
All right,
I'm gonna figure what that big celebration is,
I got a motion and a second to table this to the next meeting.
Right, all in favor, just saying.
All in favor of tabling, say aye. Any opposed to table? Okay. 3 ayes have it. Will be at least next meeting.
That's a lot.
this will
Be
be.
sure that's on your list, the first thing you do when you get down there, and call and let us know, call Mr. Bill, let us know. It might be that we're going to pull it, take care of ourselves, we're probably going to do the major collection problem.
All right. Trying to rush up through. Yes. Have a good one.
You take your time.
Lisa, you have anything?
I do.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Everybody's.
Yeah.
I really don't know what your customers are having, but I was asked to try to have some, give you a picture of what we're looking at halfway through the year. So put it into March, of course, I guess it's for the first 6 months. I basically just looked at the 8-year course I just ran today. I know there are a couple of corrections that I have to make. And so I didn't have copies for you yet. I will have them for you next week once I make the 2 corrections that I know of. But I kind of give you an idea of where each department was standing. I'll try to go through it pretty quickly so we don't drag this out. The county administration, the budget would be fine. However, we have $350,000 that we gave the city of Bethlehem. And out of that budget, it's over the budget of the county administration budget right now. Okay, it was actually put in appropriation, and we did not have the budget in there. We did have money in the appropriation budget, in that line item, but not $150,000. We had $88,950 in the line. So,
So we need to do that.
That was a carryover.
We're so far out, and I was asking you about.
and that is the appropriation item, which is the last one from the county administrator, and I didn't look into that.
Okay.
So we need to amend the budget for that, if you guys want that, we'll just move on to the next thing.
Well, we're going to have to want it, because I think we've done another checkout.
But I got a question. Was it 350 or 300?
350.
Yeah, I was kind of 300.
Okay, that being said, without that item on there, we're only at about 33% on expenses for our budget for this year, out of county administrative budget. Official salaries are running right at 42%, so we're good on that at halfway through the year. Other salaries that we list in county officials is about 32%, so we're certainly okay right there on those. Okay, probate judge, same picture, they only have about 37% of their budgeted amount spent so far. Same deal, salaries look good, about 31% has been spent on salaries of what was budgeted for that one line. I'm talking about all the benefits and all that, I'm talking about the salary lines. The other ones are going to reflect pretty much the same thing also, they each have their own line item. Maintenance, they've only spent about 32% of their budget so far. Salaries at 29%, so they're in pretty good shape. Sheriff, they've spent about 41% of their budget. And same deal, their salaries for their officials up 42%, and then the other salaries are about 33.5%. Jail, they have spent about 38.3% of their budget. Their salaries are at about 37%. EMA, they have spent about 48.5% of their budget, and their salaries are right at 50%. So they're pretty much just right on target. That's where they stand right now. Environmental, they have spent a little more than, they spent about 59% of their budget so far. Of course, some things are not spent equally throughout the year, so that is a portion, that's part of what that is. And salaries are only at about 24.5%. Transportation, 24.5% on budget and on salaries. Gasoline, they have a correction coming, they're actually standing right at 50%, it's 49.4% of what they were budgeted. Their salaries are only at about 25%, and I know that's because he has openings in his department, that's why it's reflected there. Revenue commissioners all good, you know, their budgets are just pretty much set in stone, and they're right on budget for this year. 911, they're in good shape also, they're at about 35% of their expenditures, and their salaries are about 30%. Now, I do have numbers worked up for the salary increases. I will have to pass some out to some of you. Like, the only ones that were really, or may have to increase the actual budget will be the obvious ones. Gasoline, because there's just not anything extra built in there for a change in salaries throughout the year. And, you know, that kind of depends too. You're only at like 25% of your expenditure, so maybe you don't have to have an increase. And I'm not gonna tell you that you should, I'm just saying that that's.
Well, he's got slots that's not been filled
That's
too.
right.
So.
And still have
we're
slots,
probably
and those
paying
are budgeted, even with the pay increase, those slots are still showing here just like they're full, because you have to. There's no way to
Right.
not count that, because if you don't, then he fills a spot that's open, then we're over budget, so we can't do it any other way. I do have those numbers for you. I did not figure overtime because it's not, for most parts, it's not a huge factor. I did also find out, and we did talk about this the other day just a little bit, about workers' comp being off. I know why it was budgeted lower than what she actually had in her figures, and it's because there's money sitting in the workers' comp account that's set aside for that. And so they can only use some of that money that's like a carryover. So that's
Okay,
the
let
reason.
me ask you a question. Even though if we're moving through the year, and I don't know how many slots that's not filled, but if you present your budget as far as workman's comp goes, is that, when you present that budget, is that what they base off what we're gonna be paying? You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is, if he's got, I don't know how many slots he's got that don't have filled, and it's $100,000 worth of slots, then I'm paying workman's comp on something that we don't even have.
It's a percentage, and you're correct.
It should be paid out what I'm paying, not paid out what we got in the budget.
It's paid on, you based on your payroll, is it?
Yeah, and
It's
payroll.
based on payroll.
Okay.
It's on payroll, it's actually been
They
paid.
go back,
I just wanna get educated on
You
that.
only pay once a year, and they adjust your rates once a
Yeah.
year. You usually end up, most of the time that I've ever seen, you usually end up with a refund. They'll have you pay a little extra upfront, and
payroll, usually they go back a year prior,
Okay.
you know, if they go back a year and they use that.
So,
It's only what you actually pay.
They have,
So-
they have a premium estimate and then an actual value of payroll.
They did an evaluation.
okay, so like I said, my main concerns are gasoline fund and, revenue commissioners. And I'm not that concerned about gasoline fund because, like I said, he's got low staff, so he's
Okay,
already in
good.
pretty good shape right now. Revenue commissioner, there's no leeway with that one. You change the budget throughout the year, you've got to do something to make up for it, because, you know,
I talked to Ms. Fuller the other day, and she said that, we were ahead on revenue compared to the same place last year. But she didn't have an exact figure, but she said we were way ahead. I don't know, way ahead.
Sounds good.
That's a very good job. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Any questions? Any
I will be in Prattville the next 2 days for our ACCA class. I will be available by phone, email.
So how quick will you get your computer?
Crystal supposedly ordered it for me earlier this week, so she was out last week when I got approved, but she said she ordered it Monday, so hopefully pretty soon. I haven't got a date on it for her. We did get the county credit card, finally. Look out that yesterday, it took 6 months.
Some days you can book
So we
a
can
room.
book classes and book rooms.
Okay, that's great.
That's what we need it for, so.
And now like a card, we also get points that the county collects, or does it have that program?
I'll check.
That's
on
something
it.
that-
It's
that
the
will-
same-
that's-
It's the same account we had before, it was closed down, it was just, we had to swap users and all that, but,
Okay.
and the good thing about it too, and I know it may not seem like a big deal to you guys, but it is not, it does not have a guarantor with it, so I didn't have to put my social security number with it. It'll make it easier for you if I ever leave. I mean, we're gonna have to stick, but anyway, it'll make it easier in the long run that it's not set up that way.
Okay.
That's right. Make a motion to adjourn.
No.
We have a motion to adjourn. We don't have a second, do we have a second?
No, it's go ahead, got ready.
Mr. Odom?
No reports.
Mr. Mr. Lee, I skipped you.
That's all right. The only other thing I had on my notes here that I forgot about was the maintenance on the walking trail that Piedmont had asked for, the additional money there. Are we gonna try to do anything with that, or? I mean, I haven't been approached back by them, I just saw it in the notes from last meeting.
How much is that extra that's for?
So we paid them 400 a month now, and they were basically asking for double, 800.
Because prices.
Just rises in maintenance costs, but basically said they'd take what they could get. So I don't think the intent is to quit doing it, it's just they're just asking for some help.
That was one of the things that I asked Lee, can we do it cheaper? But we cannot.
No, I don't think so.
Those guys are going 14, I don't know how they make it through the day.
That's, yeah, I don't know, we can do
And
it.
keep it neat.
And that'd be my thing, it's
Well,
just,
we just split the difference with them, I think we didn't think about that. So you're paying 400 a month now? They asking for 8. I mean, give them some of it, but extra 100 or something like that, I'm just saying my opinion, that's all it is. You want to go, give them nothing?
Will they do it if we don't?
their indications is they're gonna keep doing it, because, I mean, it benefits them as well, because it'll be a destination.
Does that come out of the general fund?
Yeah.
Maybe something to bring up with annual budgets.
Yeah.
They do it now.
That's, I'm good on it.
Yeah, I like that idea.
And I know that, just have to give me something.
Yeah, I mean, a mid-year plus like that's difficult when you do the budget at the beginning of the year, but we can certainly put it in there.
Agree with that. Just wanted that answer, wanted something to tell them.
I like hear what you say.
No, I just suggested to let them know that, you know, a mid-year request like this is difficult when we do our annual budget at the beginning. And that since budget cycle will be coming up at the end of the summer, let's just renew this request then and bring it up to the board.
I think it's good.
Bring it to us.
That's wisdom, man, that's good. Yes, sir. Discussion items, that's where we're at.
Well, I was gonna ask Lee a question, but.
Go ahead,
It's
go ahead.
it's really the river.
Okay.
Okay, we talked at the work session about our $15,000 minimum without having to bid out our maintenance on our county vehicles. Okay, it's come to my attention, I have not talked to the sheriff, but it's come to my attention that the sheriff does not want to go to the road department for his maintenance. So, it's going to be bid out, but I don't know whether the commission's got to bid it out or the sheriff's got to bid it out.
I think that's, what do you think, Mr. Owen?
I'd point it to the sheriff, he's a constitutional officer.
Okay,
He's
so,
responsible for setting his budget.
okay, so do we need to send him a letter, or what do we need to do?
I would just notify him that if he is not planning on using the services provided by the county, he's gonna have to bid it out for himself.
But, so,
And like I said, I don't know where we're at. Well, you weren't here for the work session. I had signed the checks the week before the work session, and they was around $4,000 just for maintenance for vehicles. So I brought it up to the commission that with just that much in 1 month, we probably get close to 15,000.
Right.
So Lee said they were ready to do oil changes and brakes and maybe tires, but
and tire, you got tire
We
machine.
have time or something. And the sheriff's thing was he wants an I get my acronym, AC, AEC, mechanic, certified mechanic, he wants a certified mechanic touching his
ASC.
ASC that. And not just one of my guys changing the oil. Which,
But are you set up to balance and everything when you put tires on and to align it?
not a line, we can't do an alignment, you gotta have an alignment machine.
Well, I don't think we got anybody in town that does alignments either.
Brooks does, it's got
Yeah.
an alignment machine.
Do they not align it every time? I mean, as hard as they get hit and some of these holes they hit.
I think Brooks and the guy in the Chevy store, I think he does it too, but.
Yeah, I thought it looks aligned, but it.
But wouldn't it have to be put out I mean, to all of a sudden turn it loose on the sheriff for him to do his own cars? So it's gonna come out of his budget, so he'll be responsible for for it, so what does he have to, what does he have to do?
You have to bid it out.
Can he do that as a constitutional law? That's right, you helped me bid out something, didn't I? I forgot about that.
And
Yeah,
whether
yeah,
you still
something
stay
like
on the borderline of all of yours as far as going over.
Not since we've started doing our own.
Okay.
We've done ours, we've done Fred's, about the only ones we haven't touched would be Crystal's and Sheriff's. Jesse's brought hers down. Fred, Jesse's brought theirs, we're doing all of ours. And it's just a general thing, so we ain't gonna start breaking into engines, so we're replacing water pumps and some things like that.
But if you're saying something wrong with it, it's no different than what we're dealing with right now in the Black Explorer. That's something that you probably couldn't handle, but you could say, hey, we need to send it to the transmission.
Send this on somewhere
Yeah.
else. You know, and if it's a warranty vehicle, it needs to go wherever it needs to go for warranty wise.
Right. Well, what I don't understand is, I've been over at that jail many times, and they've had inmates out there taking and replacing front end parts, and fenders, and hoods, and everything else, and all of a sudden, we gotta have them certified.
Well, maybe they've got certified inmates.
That's possible.
It is possible.
I don't know, I've known drunk a long time, I didn't know he'd be certified, he know how to crank it pretty easy without keys.
I mean, the reason I brought it up is I almost have the efficiency, we have our audit, and we're halfway through the year, so if he's gonna do that, we gotta officially notify him, I guess that's part of my question. How do we officially notify him that gets it off us?
Well, that's not good for our administration.
Yeah, the administrator is on.
You need to get 3 bids and tell us who he's gonna use.
He's not gonna get any more POs for maintenance. We can refuse to give him POs or not.
Yep.
But that'll come.
We can't risk that vehicle being done and them not on the road protecting our people either.
Well, he was sitting right there last month, we was discussing it, I mean,
I think you know, it's sort of like kind of going out the door kind of syndrome too. You sort of, what are we gonna fight for the next 6 months on something that's gonna be over in 7 or 8 months? So I think if we just see what we have to do, we'll do it. See who's the new sheriff.
So I'm looking at his budget, just for the sheriff's office right now, and he's budgeted for $30,000 for repairs.
How much?
$30,000 for repairs and maintenance on motor vehicles, that's his line item.
He's gotta have a bid.
And he's already spent $13,525 right now. And I know that Deanne just entered more invoices, she brought everything today, the fact that we need to get this straightened out.
So, as an administrator, we're asking you to be the bad guy. You ready? And if you need some help, I'm asking Jason to help you.
I'll get a letter together.
Okay.
I guess that,
if his is already in us, then we're already over $15,000 per truck too.
Now, it's possible that some of those items might not be classified as though just the maintenance, so that they actually be repairs that he would not, they actually, it might not fall into that same uniform role with the oil changes and the tire changes and those maintenance type things that we have to fit out. It's possible that, it could be a transmission repair, or it's also possible that some of that is, how they have to add a lot of extra things to the vehicle when they purchase one, and maybe some of that also.
Or they have to add roll bars.
So you can pull some of that out.
I think
because
we
he
can,
had-
yeah.
He has to purchase a new vehicle and has.
We put money in there for that. When he comes
But
to
is
us
that
and
not
asks
over
for,
that budget?
he comes to us and asks for a new car, it's like we put $35,000.
In his budget.
Yeah.
But that's what she's saying, is some of that might be that money, that
Some of that
35.
money that was
Right.
spent out.
It's on a different line.
Should be.
The car is always down at the very last thing in his budget.
But what she's saying is it might be some of that she's talking about. Hopefully it is.
If it was done right when purchased the vehicle, it may be considered part of the asset of that vehicle, it adds to the value of
one who's going over, so he needs to be.
They haven't been,
Have it.
no.
Lee just started this last month.
Yeah, we really just got started last month. Doing most of it. And that's what I was
Well, what I'm
gonna say.
saying, there's not that many vehicles on this side of the fence.
There's not.
His vehicles are on the road 24/7. It's a big difference.
It's a big,
The majority of money's been, for road maintenance, been spent in the sheriff's department and the engineer's department.
so with this, but with this notice, so we also need to notify all the other departments that if it's general maintenance and it's coming,
Right.
they need to.
They know that.
You can just send out an email or something and have everybody respond if they read the email.
And it wouldn't hurt to call the sheriff and talk to him. Not just send a letter to him or an email, but call him and talk to him.
My recollection on the vehicle, buying the new vehicles, putting the equipment on it was all included. Even though it wasn't going to the dealership, it was going to his guy that he uses.
With those,
That could be right, because on this, his last item, his budget is 755, which is a GLK report. It's as their capital asset, and just for instance, he's had one expenditure this year for that, it was $39,000, which was in the budget. He actually went for about $5,000. That was probably also some.
We probably go in the back door of that, maybe call Paula and then Lane first, just to say, hey, this is where we're at, and we don't need to get in trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
I
not,
think reaching out, talking to them and not just sending an email.
I'm not
By
blaming.
all means, send an email to back it up, but I still believe communication. You know, we're a small county, we need to be able to communicate with each other.
I'm not blaming the sheriff for anything, I'm just saying, if we don't get this under control,
We're gonna be,
then we're gonna get rid of the auditors.
But we're asking our county administrator to take action.
Okay. Any other items? I got something I want to tell you guys, but, Andy's got one.
I talked to Sonny Braswell today about the watershed deal. And, he wants me to send everything we've got to him, have his attorneys look over it, and then he's gonna give his recommendation, and he's gonna help us solve
On the what?
it. Watershed.
Oh, watershed issue, okay.
Because we're not the only county speaking with this. So, you want to go have to send him all that stuff, because it's in 4 or 5 different emails.
Is the contracts, is that what he's wanting?
Yeah,
Those four.
contract and any contacts that we got. The guy that you was talking to, his name and number. And I've already seen him, the lady in Calhoun County now. So,
Seems this might be something in
What
the
do you get?
discussion next year.
when you get a chance, just shoot that to somebody and just put on it.
It may be easier for me
Watershed.
to hit print and get him a package,
and send it to them.
because it's still a bit, it'd be a pile of emails.
Okay, just whatever we need to do, if I need to come in here or whatever, we need to send him that, and he said he would have his attorney bunch to look at it and come up with a plan.
I tell you what might help more than anything, of course, if you, whatever you've got that you think he needs, get it to me, and I'll make you a copy and get it back to you. But if you got anything that you think he might need in addition to what I've got, just get it to me.
Those 3 or 4 emails that you sent out with all the documentation in, and the guy's name that you've been talking to, and if they got any questions, they call you or call.
Those 4 covered everything. Those are just the contracts that we sent.
Yeah, it didn't cover, yeah, those contracts were 12 over 15 or something like that.
So we never sent it all.
One more question. My mind is going blank. The deal we talked about last month with Hearts, are those folks coming to see us?
You're supposed to come here in May.
Okay.
I think I sent an email that they said that they were not, she was not capable of coming, but she and the chairman were coming.
Okay. Are they gonna provide us the budget beforehand, or did they even agree to that?
She agreed that she would show us the budget and stuff, but I don't know if she'll send it ahead of time. I can probably check in with her.
If you can, see if she's, you know.
I will. I'll do that tomorrow, get in contact with her. When I left as chairman, there was one of the best feelings there in the world, so,
Who was that?
with, community actions.
Oh, yeah.
It got me uncomfortable just the way things were, and as soon as my time was up, I was ready to get out of that, so. Anything else? Yes?
On the blackened floor, how do you want me to pay for that, or we want to move forward? It's gonna be, right now, we're probably looking at about $250, or maybe $3. He's gonna take it to Amoco, to replace all the solenoids, the package, whatever it is. But they say when they take off the pan, if it's full of metal, the transmission needs to be rebuilt, it's gonna be about $3,000. If it's just the solenoids, if he had replaced the solenoid package, it'd be about $850. I might have that, and y'all can read,
That needs to come out of, their budget, it's their call.
do you have, so we'll have to amend your budget.
Do you have any money in your budget?
You didn't get very much in there for video, but I tell you.
I knew it's on 250, so it's in
We'll just have to amend their budget.
Okay, so my question is, are we gonna do it?
We gotta fix it.
Okay.
But going forward, we just understand we're gonna have to amend the budget.
so fix it or replace it, that's the options.
Okay, well, I will get that going tomorrow. Hopefully all it needs is solenoid. One thing it was is the connections was real bad, and when it would pull down, like Terry said, it was a solenoid wasn't ready to release, and when the eye of the motor, it just killed everything. And, so that took.
It probably needs to be driven more than it's driven, because if that battery don't stay at 90%, the computer don't work properly.
Right.
And when I was in the post office and everything the other day, they needed to drive it.
So if I was on this sign to have it sent to and from home, what one to drive it to, can you do that? If you drive it once a week to and from home, God, that might be the best one.
But if they drove it to the post office every day, when they
That helps, but.
Because they only go once a week, don't you?
They better for it, that longer trip.
Say you drive it to and from work on Wednesday. I'm just coming up with the idea to drive it, because we can't drive all the, we got vehicles, so we can't drive them all. Is anybody using as much to go, if it's running, if people's using, right, tomorrow it'll be going to Frankfurt.
We started doing better about
Right.
driving, like we talked about last time.
We'll see how it goes,
Until it quit.
we'll get it fixed. I'll get started on that in the morning, I'll tell Gary to send it on to Amoco.
You move me out of the probate office, I can use it coming back forth up here.
There you go.
I go every day somewhere to use it.
That's a maintenance.
I could leave it
Look
there.
at the post office.
And then if anybody needed it, you could use it, so. I don't ever charge my mileage, but it's 3 miles, time you go up here and back to my office. If I come up here 4 or 5 times a week, it ain't much. but I
So
don't-
this is kind of big.
Yeah, I need to. All right, anything else?
One question, if we amend it, you're gonna amend the budget, and you guys have to vote on it, right?
Right.
Once
So we
he,
got,
once
We
he
did that.
finds out how much and once it's running, then we'll have to.
Most time what happens is
the amend on the county administration budget also.
sometimes what happens is, in the past, what we've done, like, sometimes at the courthouse, I have to replace the HVAC unit.
Yeah.
And then me and Fred will look at it, if we can sort of work with it and don't have to worry about it, then whatever's left in my budget is what's left in the budget. If you have a carryover, then we won't have to amend your budget. But sometimes, I think there's a couple times that we've had to amend my budget at the end of the year, where we was over for certain things, but just make sure you do a line item of what you've done. You don't have 250, so that 250 will go towards it, which is not near enough. So when it's all said and done, you're about to be looking at $3,500, by the time you get this car back.
You may have it somewhere else in the budget. that you can
Line
do.
revision's not a problem, I can do those easily, just, with the request, I can do a line item revision. I'm just specifically talking about the amount, the 350,000 in the city of Cleburne, will actually have to amend the budget for that.
Oh, yeah.
That'll have to come up next month.
Yes, sir.
We need to get the word out to the department heads that once they see this, that they're way behind on their spending, they don't need to go crazy because somebody's got to pay for these damn pay raises. But they wouldn't agree to take it out of the budget this year, but I want to see that they take it out of their budget next year. So they don't need to spend all their money.
You hear that, Wade?
I think he's looking at me.
Okay, we're going to the other word that you were talking
Wade's
about.
up there sweating already.
Mr. Hill, you went down to Montgomery, some of y'all go down to Montgomery, did all that go well?
I did.
And you met with John Earl and you met with some of the highway department?
I did, and I met with DECA folks. I was busy for 2 days. I didn't do a lot of good, but you
Okay.
can't do anything if you don't try.
Well, I appreciate you trying. I want to also remind y'all that John Earl gave us through HAVA, the Help America Vote Act. Every county got that years ago, but bigger counties, bigger populations have more money. But apparently, the Secretary of State got some, and they've had that. But he was able to replace those old auto mark machines, though. We have to have one in every voting place for ADA, to be ADA compliant, for folks who are handicapped. And so he replaced those and he used them. Y'all remember that? We got a check and we bought them. We got the new express vote. And they're in and we'll be working with that this coming May the 24th. So we're learning that process in our office, or and I'm working on it. But he also, I approached you all about buying a computer for voting night because I had hauled up that big computer. Well, the Secretary of State bought us a computer. It's a laptop. It cannot be hooked up to the internet at any time. We use only a thumb drive to go in it to get the votes and then take it back to our other computer to send the votes count to Montgomery.
Right.
Just wanted you to know that
He gave it to us.
he gave it to us through the Help America Vote Act. So that was a plus. We were looking at about a $4,000 purchase there, because it had to have all kinds of firewalls built in, and I know we talked about it. And but that turned out just waiting to be a blessing for us. Just wanted you to know that. Good Friday, I know my office is closing. We're going to take our floating holiday. Everybody want to take their floating holiday for Good Friday, so we'll be closed. I'm sure Joyce, she always takes that one. She'll be aware of that.
I saw on Facebook where she's closing.
So we're taking that. And I just want y'all to be understanding and be thankful to John Earl for helping us with that, because that's
I would
saving
get
us.
on my tax for my vehicles on Good Friday, right?
Well, if you'll come see me, we'll make some sort of special arrangement or something. If anybody else got anything else?
The convenience center in Ranford is going to open May 4th, correct?
That's right. What?
And I put it on Facebook if y'all share it.
Well, they got it where, other than just a little building, y'all can move the dumpster in right now, we don't got it.
Finish grading the road.
That look good.
All right, we had enough?
I've had that.
You ready to make a motion?
No.
No?